Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. The Margaret A. Cargill Foundation, and WTIU members. Thank you.
It's a beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
So get your gloves and your hats on and come join us for a walk through a winter wonderland right here in the zone.
You're not alone, you're in the zone. So hang up the phone and get in the zone. Get in the zone. Friday zone. You're in the zone. The Friday zone. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited. Get in the zone. Everyone is the Friday zone.
Hi everybody, and welcome into our winter wonderland. Now, even though summer is my favorite season, of course, the sun and the pool, I can't help but feel happy here in Studio 6 in this wonderful winter wonderland.
Well, how can you not feel happy? I mean, winter is upon us. It's a great time of year. You know, there's snowball fights, you can build snowmen, you go sledding. I mean, what is there to not love, Emily?
You know, I see your point, Taylor. However, when the average temperature is below 25 degrees during the day and drops to below 0 at night, things can get dangerously cold really fast. And you know, luckily we have things to keep us warm in the winter. But for man's best friends, our pets, it's sometimes easy to forget that just because we're warm doesn't mean they are. So to help us learn how to keep our animals safe and happy this winter season, we have our friend Sarah DeLone from the Monroe County Humane Society and some of her friends joining us in the zone to teach us how to keep our animals safe and warm and happy. Hi Sarah, welcome to the zone.
Thanks.
I see you've brought some friends with you today.
I sure have.
How would you tell us who you have?
Well, today we have the black one is Phoebe, and she is a year-old standard poodle.
Okay.
And this is Journey. Journey is a 10-year-old German Shepherd. And you'll notice that she is wearing wheels. She has a back problem. And she can't walk, but she still has fun. Phoebe wants to be up in your lap.
Phoebe likes me today.
And then on my lap, we have Wind Dancer. And Wind Dancer is a ferret. And so these are all animals that you might have as pets. And they all require a little bit of different winter care.
All right, so I guess in talking about winter, what are some things that are really harmful or dangerous, I guess, to our family pets?
Well, for one thing, most of our family pets are used to being inside a lot, so when it gets bitterly cold, it's important that they only come out for short trips into the snow. And if they are a short-haired dog or an older dog, Journey's 10 years old, so she doesn't get as stay out as long as she used to, and I have her wear this nice little coat.
Okay. So that adds warmth.
That helps, that adds warmth and keeps the wind off, it keeps the wet off. With this curly wool coat, we don't have to worry much about that. Come here, Jern. But with animals that need to be clipped, like poodles and Shih Tzus, lots of Opsos, and mixes of those, it's important to let their fur grow out a little longer in the winter to keep them warm. But one thing you want to do is they tend to get ice balls in their toes if they're walking in the snow, if they're doing things like that. So actually what we do is we trim the hair between their toes to keep them from getting icicles.
So are there certain parts that you would trim? Like I've noticed, like, I don't know if it's a style thing she's got going on, or if it's like, would you want to keep her head warm, and do we want to keep
good question. With poodles, you've all seen those weird show clips where they have big fluffy
or their tails all crazy,
and their tails all crazy and they have poofs everywhere. These are actually hunting dogs that were originally bred for duck retrievers. And what they did was they left the hair long over their heart, over their joints, and on the tip of their tail so that they wouldn't get cold in the cold water, and shave the rest to reduce drag. So with her, I just have her kind of in what's called a lamb clip, just kind of poofy all over with a little hair on top, and that's more for decoration than anything. But I keep her coat a little shorter in the summer and then longer in the winter. Important thing with long-haired dogs, though, is to keep them brushed and groomed out, because otherwise, if they get matted, that that allows them to get much, much colder.
Okay.
And she's still a young dog.
Now, I know also, I know my mom likes to dress our dog up a lot and put raincoats and winter coats, so I'm sure there's lots of things that you can also add to keep them warm.
There are lots of things available. Journey has boots on her hind legs. She's got a leg wrap. She actually has elbow pads as well that she wears that are made of neoprene and keep her warm. Very simple little coat that she wears, easy to take on and off. Very few dogs really worry about it, but you don't have to worry about that unless you've got a small dog, a short-haired dog. One thing you do need to be concerned about when you're out in the cold is the salt on the roads and the salt on your sidewalks.
Now, that's not something you want your dog to be licking up or
Exactly.
eating.
You definitely want to keep their noses away from it, and if they do happen to walk in some of that salt, when you come back, just wipe off their feet. Now, if you have an outdoor pet, it's especially important in the winter to make sure that their water's clear. Sometimes you may have to change their water several times a day. They always need fresh water. And for dog houses, if you happen to have a dog that uses a dog house, people make a mistake of getting dog houses that are much too big. It should be just about big enough for the dog to get in, turn around, and lie down. And that helps them to conserve their body heat. And straw is one of the best insulators for a dog house.
We used to do that with my dog, actually. It was a German Shepherd, and she liked her straw bed. Yeah.
Now,
I was going to say, I'm curious about the pets that actually are not outside, like kittens that are inside.
I know you brought this ferret. And
I brought this ferret, and let me
little
bring out
critter
some
in there.
other friends as well.
Oh, it's Emily's favorite
there we
animal.
go.
Of course. Now, what are some special things to do during the winter to help indoor pets
You've got some
stay warm?
stuff all over your hair. Here you go. Well, with the indoor pets, really important to keep them inside, especially with babies like little kittens and animals like ferrets. You want to make sure that they don't have a draft. You want to make sure that the temperature's fairly steady. If cats are used to going inside, keeping them in and out is fine, but with a kitten this small, obviously you want to keep them inside, well brushed and away from drafts. Make sure they have plenty of food and water. And make sure they have plenty to play with, and be careful when you're going in and out, because if they get outside, an indoor animal is not going to be able to survive very long because they're just not adjusted to it. And when you have little kittens, I don't like to let them outside personally. I keep my cats indoors, but if your cats are going to be indoor-outdoor cats, I certainly wouldn't start until spring letting them go outside at all, because winter's just too hazardous for the little tiny guys. These two kittens are about 8 weeks old, and they're actually up for adoption at the animal shelter right now.
Fantastic.
well,
So
great.
anybody out there can go, if you guys like these cute little critters, go to the animal shelter, look at them, pick them up. Well, anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you for the helpful tips.
Sure, a lot
Thanks
of
for
great
having
things for
us.
everyone to know. Well, these animals here and your pets at home have great owners to take care of them and keep them warm in the winter. We've traveled to the Children's Museum in Indianapolis to meet two animals that are very used to very cold temperatures. Check out the Polar Bears to Penguin exhibit in this zone investigation.
As the winter weather outside gets colder, the Fridays on Field crew bundled up to go inside and learn about everything from polar bears to penguins in the new exhibit at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. We met up with Jennifer Robinson, the museum's Vice President of Experience Development, to help us go polar.
This is a great exhibit about two places that you don't really hear a lot about in the middle of Indiana, and that is the Arctic and the Antarctic. And so the goal of this exhibit is really to introduce children and families to a world they may not know much about.
We quickly found out that polar bears live in the Arctic's north and the penguins live in the Antarctic's south. We were so surprised to discover that these two iconic winter animals never meet in the wild.
It's a world of ice and snow. It's a world of amazing different types of animals that you may have seen at the zoo, but you don't really know much about their habitats and where they live in the wild. It's a great chance to actually not even see artifacts and photographs and learn about these places, but also do interactive elements.
In fact, there were so many interactive elements we didn't know where to start. In the exhibit, we were able to do so many things like test our ice cue, dress like a penguin and see what it's like to walk or slide like they do, test our weight against polar bears, navigate our way to the North and South Pole, and finally, see what it's like to snuggle up at a polar bear's den. And although the Polar Bear to Penguin exhibit is designed to be fun and interactive, it was built to build awareness as well.
So it's really interesting to learn how things are changing in both the Antarctic and the Arctic. with global warming. And you'll see how penguins used to lay their eggs in snowy, icy conditions, and now they're often laying their eggs in mud. So it's just an introduction that global warming is a problem, and helping children and families learn a little bit more about it and how it really does impact the animals in those environments.
And to help children and families take a closer, in-depth look at the Arctic and Antarctic, they can don their lab coats and enter the research center.
We have a very nice research center where we can do some very much more in-depth programs with schools and with families. We do a really fun polar puppet show. We also do several programs that teach kids more about animal adaptations, particularly those animals that are built for the cold and the water and the snow, and so you can learn all about the polar bears and the penguins.
One person who knows all about the penguin adaptation is photographer JJ LaRue. JJ bundled up and engulfed herself in the wonderful world of penguins to capture the personality and lifestyle of these small animals.
She has amazing stories about what it's like to follow penguins and to track them and watch them eating and taking care of their babies. So there's lots of different things in the exhibit to see.
After viewing the lifestyle, habitats, and personalities of the penguins, you can see more artifacts from the Inuit tribe. The Inuit tribe are a group of indigenous people inhabiting the Arctic regions.
We have some amazing artifacts here. We're also celebrating Native American Festival the month of November, and so we were able to put some Inuit artifacts from our own collection on display, and these would be Indians that would live in the Arctic. So they're used to the cold, they live in Alaska, and we've got some of their clothing, some of the tools that they made, and then some of the toys that the children played with.
You can even see the native dress that the women wear in the summer and in the winter in the Arctic. So Friday Zone viewers, if you want to slide on your belly like a penguin, learn how the first explorers braved the cold, harsh weather to explore two never-before-seen lands, or see the uncertainty that the polar bears face with the shrinking icebergs, and how penguins are learning to adapt to even warmer climates, then we encourage you to bundle up in your parka, dust off your snowshoes, and check out Polar Bear to Penguins exhibit online at www.childrensmuseum.org to see how you can conquer the cold.
The polar bears and penguins are surrounded by cold, but have learned to adapt to the harsh temperatures. But a young friend of the Friday Zone decided to take it upon herself to keep her local neighbors warm in the winter. Joining us in the zone is Mackenzie Smith, founder of Mackenzies Coats in southern Indiana and the Louisville, Kentucky area. Welcome to the show, Mackenzie.
Thank you. So Mackenzie, how about you tell us a little bit about what spurred you to start collecting coats?
Well, actually, my second grade teacher was telling us a story about the less fortunate, and it soon got into talking about how cold the winter was going to be that year. So that day I came home and I said, Mom, Dad, I want to start a coat collection to keep the homeless warm.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And how old are you, Mackenzie?
I'm 11 years old.
And you've been doing this for 5 years now? Mm-hmm. That's really impressive.
Now, how many coats did you collect your first year?
My first year, we collected 78 coats.
And I've heard that your goal has since grown over the 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. So what's your current goal?
Our goal this year was 4,000 coats.
Wow.
Oh,
And how many
wow.
coats do you have right now?
We think that we have about 3,500 coats.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
That's very impressive.
So now, is it very hard to get people to start collecting coats from people that they know or their friends or their family other than just yourself, right?
It's not too hard because they hear from family members or friends, or it's just word of mouth, and then that makes them want to say, I'm giving back, so I think that I should donate my coat.
Cool. So what do you actually go out and give these coats to people, or do they come to you, or do you set them up, or how does the whole coat closet work?
We drop them off, and then we have a coat distribution, and they come and they pick out the coats that they want.
Cool.
So they actually get to go on their own little shopping spree for a coat, right?
That's awesome.
So I feel like you're making the process of taking on winter a little bit happier for some people. That's
definitely.
so neat. So do you have, a favorite memory or something that has come about so far?
Actually, I do, because a woman came up to me and she started to cry, and she said that she saw me on the news, and she knew that someday she was going to meet me, and she came up and she was just like, I'm so grateful for what you're doing. This is an amazing thing.
Oh, wow.
You're really making a difference in some people's lives, because there are some people who, they really can't afford winter coats, and like we were talking earlier, even with keeping your animals warm, it's important that we stay warm too. So, this is an awesome thing you've started.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering, I'm sure there's so many other kids who either watching this or have seen you around, like in town and stuff like that, I'm sure you're inspiring so many other kids too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. So is there a part of it that is maybe your special area of interest in the whole process of, collecting the coats and then also distributing them?
My favorite part of collecting them are just my brother and sister come in and they're just like, let's start counting. So we had a sorting day the last weekend, and a couple of friends came, family, community, they came in and we started sorting them out into sizes, and then we counted them.
Oh my goodness, so it's kind of not necessarily, a contest by any means, but it's the more numbers you have, the bigger your smile, I'm sure, gets, right? Yeah.
What's the nicest coat you guys have had brought in? Have you like some mink coats or something like that?
Funny ones.
We have a bunch of fur coats, and actually there's a coat that had all kinds of different colors on it.
Ooh.
It was
like a rainbow coat? Or
yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's awesome. So now, how long are you guys still collecting coats? Like, if your goal is 4,000, when does that day finally end?
We're gonna try to drop them off and have our distribution this week.
Oh, this week.
Or next week.
Okay.
Next week.
So you're at 3,500. So you need 500 more coats, right? You ready to push through this last weekend of
Well,
it, right?
I think we here have a gift for you. Let me go.
do.
Let me go get something for you. We here at the Friday Zone, we have 55 coats for you, Mackenzie, and then we have 2 scarves and a hat to add to the warmth collection we've got for you. So there's 55 to add to your collection. So hopefully, I mean, within the next week, I'm sure that you already have 3,500. No problem.
Thank
no
you so
problem to
much.
4,000. But yeah, so these are we got some nice ones
I
in
would
here.
say we were so inspired by you as well. Now, talk a little bit about, what you take away from this, because this is an extracurricular activity for you, right? So how do you incorporate this through, your daily life through school or with your interactions with your friends?
We usually try to do most of it on the weekends where we don't have much going on, but last year I know that we did it after school. We would go up into our trailer and we would just start putting coats into boxes so we could figure out what our goal is.
Do you have a lot of friends that help you with this?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I do.
cool. That's a good way to. It's a good little after-school bonding, huh?
Absolutely. So the people that actually get to experience Mackenzie's coat closet, do you think that they go away with something, a better sense of knowing who you are?
I think that they do, because I feel like once I give them a coat, they go back and they're just like, this is a wonderful thing that she's doing. I can't believe that I finally have a coat to keep me warm.
Yeah. I think that you are very, very, very insightful, not only for, your peers, but everyone that hears your story. So, although it might not be snowing at your house, former host Echo Chappelle had 2 friends of the Friday Zone show you how to make it snow all year round with homemade snow globes. Check it out in this Friday Zone flashback.
First, what you need is a clear jar with a watertight lid.
Pretty easy to find around the house. Okay, which one are you taking?
Okay, I think I'll
Don't take my airplane over there. This is mine.
it's yours.
This is actually our goal. I like this one because it has Santa Claus in it. But see, it's a snow globe. It's glittery.
Yeah.
Nice job on this
it
one.
is.
Okay, so what do we do?
Okay.
Just take us through the steps.
Well, first, what we do is we take a little plastic figurine. I really like mice, so and we tape it and we tape it to the bottom of the cap.
Okay.
Sort of like.
Do you need a figurine?
Oh,
I need to take one.
Sort of like this. And
Okay.
you don't want to tape it onto the screwing area.
Does it matter what kind of tape you use to tape it on?
Well, you have to use electric tape or duct tape because those are sort of waterproof.
All right, so after you tape it on,
you take some.
is he on there pretty good?
Yeah, I guess. And you take some water, which is over there.
how do you tape?
Okay.
And
She just taped his legs.
and you just
Uh-oh. I need to cut this.
you just
That's what the
pour it
scissors
into the
are
jar.
Uh-huh.
And you want to make it just about up to the rim. Sort of like this.
Just with regular old tap water.
Yeah.
Okay. What next?
Okay, you take some glitter.
For you.
for. Okay, thanks.
You take some glitter and you pour it in.
Like any old kind of glitter? What color do I want?
Any
Multicolored.
color. Yeah.
Gosh,
Oh, man.
I have trouble taping one on.
We're making the Friday Zone festive.
It's okay if you sort of get it a little messy.
How much do you need? A lot?
Just enough to cover the surface should be probably
well,
good.
I got enough.
Or a little more if you want. And I want a little more, so.
I think they got a bit too much.
So what do you have to put special in the water?
Okay,
Because
now
I've heard you have to put something in.
Well, this is optional, but you can put in some glycerine. It makes the glitter stay up in the water longer when you shake it.
Okay.
But if you don't have it, that's okay too.
You can find glycerin at any old drugstore or grocery store.
Yeah, and you should use just about a teaspoon. Not too much. I doubt that was a teaspoon, but.
I guess we ought to save some for you, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
How much?
Oh,
just pour it.
Just pour it. There you go.
There.
Yeah.
And
Make
next,
it like stay to the ground.
and the next thing you do is just screw your thing to your jar.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
And then you have a snow globe?
Well, you have to do.
Oh no!
Okay. First, I'm gonna mention that you have to screw it on really tightly.
Okay.
Obviously.
I think obvious, yes.
Oh, we have victory with mine.
Okay.
Victory. Let's see, can
Okay, I
we
think it's
find
Do you
it?
think I put enough glitter in there?
Ah.
But check it out.
Ah.
Yeah, I think you put enough glitter in there. Okay. The next thing you want to do is just decorate it with any old
Okay.
stuff.
So now, what do we do?
You can.
Oh, don't. Here, just take your Santa
And
and put it in.
okay.
Okay, you might
Yeah?
want to decorate
at
it with
that.
ribbon or something.
Oh, cool.
Or you could personalize it.
Keep personalizing.
Can you?
You'll get yours done. Oh, I can finish it up for you. Great job, guys. Like you said, this is the finished product. Looks
And
great.
then you get this.
Thanks,
string.
Claire.
What would a winter wonderland be without snow? Well, today in our hands-on zone, we are going to show you a very easy and fun way to make your own edible snowballs or crunchy snow. Let's get started. Now, for those of you at home that are going to participate in this activity as well, some things you're going to need include rice cereal, 1/4 cup of margarine, 10 ounces of marshmallows, which we actually already have melted here, and powdered sugar. So, you guys, let's go ahead and start this.
So
Rice Krispie
what do
treats
we
have
need to do?
always been some of my favorite. Let's go ahead and mix all the ingredients other than the powdered sugar.
So we already mixed the butter with the marshmallows when we
we
microwaved
did.
that, right?
And
okay.
then, yep,
so
you
that's
just
what you
put
want to
it
do
on
too at home. Make sure that when you melt those
It looks
marshmallows,
something like
and you
this.
put the half. What is it? A fourth?
Half a
of-
stick.
half a
So
stick.
Mackenzie, since you decided to stay and help us with our little recipe today, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and pouring that in the big bowl so we can start the mixture.
I'm gonna pour the powdered sugar into this thing so we can. That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, honestly, my winter wonderland is never complete without making sweet treats.
Look, it's
so
snowing. Hey guys.
that looks great.
snowing.
Now I'm going to go ahead and add this. If you want to scoot the bowl close to me, Mackenzie. Once you get your rice cereal into a bigger bowl, go ahead and add your marshmallows. Now if you end up heating your marshmallows a little bit before, Mackenzie was really great in stirring the marshmallows to keep them just a little bit gooey so we could make our crunchy snowballs.
So what do I do with the powdered sugar here?
All right. Well, once we added that, I'm pretty sure, Mackenzie, if you want to go ahead and give this a big stir and just kind of make sure that the rice cereal mixes with the marshmallows so that we can make some snowballs. I think the white marshmallow actually gives it the snowball effect.
Oh, okay. So then we take that and then we dip it in the powdered sugar.
You
Or is that what we do?
form your own snowball. Personally, I think it's preference to how big you want your snowball to be. Remember, this is not a snowball fight, so.
It could be though.
Yeah, here I would. It could be.
Could
it could
be,
be.
but-
But that would be a food fight.
But we don't want to
wouldn't
get too
it?
messy in the zone today, do we?
No. Now, Mackenzie, have you ever made Rice Krispie treats before?
No.
No? Well, I think this is a nice little twist on that. All right.
With those two.
Taylor, you got the good utensil. Okay. So now that our cereal and our marshmallows are mixed pretty well, I think it's time to get your hands dirty. So make sure, if you haven't already, wash your hands before you start this yummy little treat. Kinsey, I think we're gonna give you the honor of starting first since you're such a great person. You get to dip in there, make your snowball, and dip it into the powdered sugar.
Oh, there we go. That's
She's going for a big snowball. Oh, look at that. Is it sticky?
So Mackenzie, what is one of your favorite things about winter? I mean, I know you collect all these coats and stuff like that, but what are some other things you do during the wintertime?
I play, I do cheers, so we have a couple games during the winter. But we also kind of go around different places.
If you want to get your hands, put your hands in the water to get them unsticky.
Winter is definitely, like I said at the beginning of the show, not one of my most favorite seasons, but I'll tell you what, the amount of cooking that goes into it definitely makes up for it not being warm. All right, Taylor, are you gonna dunk your snowballs first?
So, well, if we put a little bit of butter on our hands, or if you put your hands in the water, it won't stick as well.
Oh, really?
So we might want to try and, I don't know what we want to do here.
Okay,
so let's
go ahead and dip it in the powdered sugar, and it'll give it the wintry Wonderland effect. Exactly.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm just gonna.
You are the king of
put
mess
this
making.
right here in the display thingy, and look at that. That's a good-looking snowball.
Oh, your snowball fell apart.
Okay.
All right, Mackenzie, how about you give yours a try?
Here. I'll try and dip that in there.
Now, I think it would help too at home for those of you to like leave the marshmallows in a cool place once they mix with the Rice Krispie cereal, just so it can kind of set in the molding of your snowball as a little more round, if you will. Mackenzie got a decent one there.
Well, I know your brother and sister are here. Do you guys want to come on and you guys want to try these snowballs real quick?
Yeah.
Hayden and Delaney are about to come on.
Yummy. Thanks for helping us out too, you guys.
Here, how about you guys come on right in here?
Dig your hands in here.
Dig your hands in.
Yeah. Do you see how that looks?
If you guys want to make one of your own, Hayden, if you want to grab some.
Go ahead and reach in there.
This is a great holiday treat, huh?
agree,
It's messy,
I agree.
but it's fun, you know? Well, it looks like we're running out of time, but I want to thank Sarah Deloney from the Monroe County Humane Society for showing us how to take care of our four-legged friends during the winter. I also want to give a big thanks to Mackenzie for sharing with us Mackenzie's Coat Closet and for sticking around and helping us make these fun, tasty snowball treats. Remember, you can download this episode and other episodes of The Friday Zone on iTunes for free.
And you can send Taylor and myself an email to tell us your favorite thing about winter on our website at www.fridayzone.org. Remember to live, learn, and play the Friday Zone way. We will see you here again next week. With that, our sticky snow crunchy ball
See you guys.
fingers. All right.
Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. The Margaret A. Cargill Foundation. And WTIU members, thank you.